Hi, I'm S. Madhumita from 4th year IT. In this presentation, I am going to explain about transport layer in computer network. The next slide of this presentation is we are seeing about introduction of transport layer, services provided by the transport layer, um, like end-to-end delivery, address, reliable delivery, flow control, multiplexing. In this presentation, we are also seen about transport layer protocols, TCP and UDP. First, we are seen about introduction of transport layer. The transport layer is the fourth layer from the top in the OSI model. The main role of the transport layer is to provide the communication services directly to the application process running on different hosts. The transport layer provides the logical communication between the application processes running on different hosts. Although the transport layer application processes on different hosts are not physically connected, application processor use the logical communication provided by the transport layer to send the messages to each other. Transport layer protocols are implemented in the end system but not in the network routers. A computer network provides more than one protocol to the network applications, for example, TCP and UDP. These are the two transport layer protocols that provide the different set of addresses to the network layer. All transport layer protocols provide both multiplexing and demultiplexing services. It also provides other services such as reliable data transfer, bandwidth guarantees and delay guarantees. Each of the applications in the application layer has the ability to send a message by using TCP or UDP. The application communicates by using either of these two protocols. Both TCP and UDP will then communicate with the Internet protocol in the Internet layer. The applications can read and write to the transport layer. Therefore, we can say that communication is a two-way process. Next, we have seen about services provided by the transport layer or responsibilities. The services provided by the transport layer are similar to those of the data link layer. The data link layer provides the services within a single network, while the transport layer provides the services across an inter-network made up of many networks. The data link layer controls the physical layer, while the transport layer controls all the lower layers. The services provided by the transport layer protocol can be divided into five categories. First one is end-to-end delivery, and next is addressing and reliable delivery, flow control and multiplexing. These are the classification of the transport layer services. Okay. First, we have seen about end-to-end delivery. The transport layers transmit the entire message to the destination. Therefore, it ensures the end-to-end delivery of an entire message from the source to destination. For example, like first to start. Next, we are seeing about reliable delivery. The transport layer provides reliability services by retransmitting the lost and damaged packets. Reliable delivery has four aspects. First one is error control, and second is a sequence control, third is a loss control, and fourth is a duplication control. Each one of us have a separate functionality. These are the classification diagram of four aspects. First, we have seen about error control. The primary role of the error control is in reliability. The primary role of reliability is error control. In reality, no transmission will be 100% error-free delivery. Therefore, transport layer protocols are designed to provide the error-free transmission. The data link layer also provides the error handling mechanism, but it ensures only node-to-node error-free delivery. However, node-to-node reliability does not ensure the end-to-end reliability. The data link layer checks for the error between each network. If an introduced inside one of the router then this error will not be caught by the data link layer. It only detects those errors that have been introduced between the beginning and end of the link. Therefore, the transport layer performs the checking for the error end to end to ensure that the packet has arrived correctly. This is a diagrammatical representation of error control which we have seen in the previous slides. The next one is sequence control. The second aspect of the reliability is a sequence control, which is implemented at the transport layer. On the sending end, the transport layer is responsible for ensuring that the packets received from the upper layers can be used by the lower layers. On the other receiving end, it ensures that the various segments of the transmissions can be correctly reassembled. The next one is loss control. Loss control is the third aspect of reliability. The transport layer ensures that all the fragments of the transmission arrive at the destination, not some of them. On the sending end, all the fragments of transmission are given sequence numbers by the transport layer. These sequence layers allow the receivers, yes, the transport layer to identify the missing segment. The next one is duplication control. Duplication control is the fourth aspect of reliability, and this is the last one of the aspect of reliability. The transport layer guarantees that no duplicate data arrive at the destination. Sequence numbers are used to identify the lost packets. Similarly, it allows the receiver to identify and discard duplicate segments. The next services provided by the transport layer is a flow control. Flow control is used to prevent the sender from overwhelming the receiver. If the receiving is overloaded with too much data, then the receiver discards the packets and asking for retransmission of packets. This increases the network congestion and thus reducing the system performance. The transport layer is responsible for flow control. It uses the sliding window protocol that makes the data transmission more efficient, as well as it controls the flow of data so that the receiver does not become overwhelmed. Sliding window protocol is a byte oriented rather than frame oriented. Next services is multiplexing. The transport layer uses the multiplexing to improve the transmission efficiency. Multiplexing can occur in two ways. First one is upward multiplexing and the second one is downward multiplexing. Upward multiplexing means multiple transport layers connection use the same network connection. Downward multiplexing means one transport layer connection uses the multiple network connection. Next one is addressing. According to the layered model, the transport layer interact with the function of the session layer. Many protocols combine session, presentation and application layer. In these cases, protocols into a single layer known as the application layer. In these cases, delivery to the session layer means the delivery to the application layer. Data generated by an application on one machine must be transmitted to the correct application on another machine. In this case, addressing is provided by the transport layer. This is the diagrammatical representation of the addressing. The transport layer provides the user address which is specified as the station or the port. The port variable represents the particular TS user of the specified station known as Transport Service Access Stop, which is TSAP. In this diagram, we have seen upper layer stack as numbered as 1, 2, 3, and this side upper layer stack as numbered as 6, 5, 9. There is a peer-to-peer communication between both of us. Each station has only one transport entity. The transport layer protocol need to know which upper layer protocol are communicating. Next slide we have seen about transport layer protocol. The transport layer is represented by two protocols, TCP and UDP. The IP protocol in the network layer delivers a datagram from a source host to the destination host. Nowadays, the operating system supports the multi-user and multi-processing environment, and executing program is called as a process. Next, we have seen about UDP. This is the first protocol type in transport layer. UDP stands for User Datagram Protocol. UDP is a simple protocol and it provides non-sequence transport functionality. UDP is a connectionless protocol. This type of protocol is used when reliability and security are less important than speed and size. The pack produced by the UDP protocol is known as a user datagram. UDP is a end-to-end transport level protocol that adds transport level addresses, checksum error control and length information to the data from the upper layer. User datagram as a 16-byte header which is shown below. Source port address, destination port address, both are 16 bits. Total length 16 bits. Checksum also have the 16 bits and the data, where source port address, destination port address, total length and checksum, these are the four main components in this. UDP protocol has some disadvantages also. UDP provides the basic functions needed for the end-to-end delivery of the transmission. It does not provide any sequencing or reordering functions and does not specify the damaged packet when reporting an error. Next, we have seen about TCP. TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. It provides full transport layer services to application. It is a connector-oriented protocol, means the connection established between both the ends of the transmission. For creating the connection, TCP generates the virtual circuit between the sender and receiver for the duration of the transmission. Features of TCP protocol: steep data transfer, reliability, flow control, multiplexing, logical connections, full duplex. There are total 6 types of flags in the control field. Some differences between TCP and UDP. TCP established the virtual circuit before transmitting the data, but UDP transmits the data directly to the destination computer without verifying whether the receiver is ready to receive or not. TCP is a connection-oriented protocol. UDP is a connectionless protocol. TCP is slow. UDP has high speed. TCP has a reliable protocol. UDP is an unreliable protocol. TCP has 20 bytes is the header size, but UDP has 8 bytes. Thank you.